Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer. How are you, Coach? Things well?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Paul. How you doing?
Pretty well.
Do you think Hagen should dress up a little nicer than what he is wearing today?
I think generally speaking, time for two more dresses very appropriately and nicely, but given today, the Vikings are hosting the which takes place at Southside Village Boys and Girls Club in Minneapolis. And there is going to be a lunch serving and a lot of great things for the Boys and Girls Club. I think he's dressed perfectly, don't you?
Well, I'm just not used to seeing him in holy jeans and a T-shirt.
If he if he were on the microphone, he would have the opportunity to come back at you right now, in joking fashion, of course, and say, "Are you familiar with a former National Football League coach named Tom Landry?"
Yes.
Okay, well, do we remember how Tom Landry dressed?
Yes.
It wasn't Vikings sweatpants, Vikings sweatshirt, Vikings hat.
Yeah.
It was fedora, $2,000 Joseph Abboud suit. So he could come back and say, you know, Mike, you might want to don the Tom Landry fedora.
Yeah, that probably won't happen.
Before we chat football, I do want to publicly apologize to you regarding this horse situation that we're trying to get going at Canterbury Park for the Mike Zimmer Foundation. For those in the audience, the Mike Zimmer Foundation benefits many and many causes, and we are attempting to claim a horse at Canterbury Park. And
why don't you tell them which one we're going to claim this week so someone else can claim them again?
Well, see, now you're way too crafty in the game now. So, I mean, now you know the ins and outs of how the whole thing works, and we are attempting to claim a horse with other owners who will watch a race at Canterbury with you. And 10% of the profit will go to the Mike Zimmer Foundation.
We're trying to pick a winner then.
More difficult? What's more difficult? Attempting to claim a horse for the Mike Zimmer Foundation or blocking Khalil Mack?
I think blocking Khalil Mack.
It's one of the two.
Yeah, that's more difficult.
So when
we have struggled trying to get a horse.
A little bit, yeah. We tried to claim one over the weekend. We got beat. We got beat on a claim. So maybe we will come back this weekend. And when we do, the silks that we have designed for double A gap group, you're going to absolutely love. Because in the program, it's going to say linebackers mugging A gap when describing the silk. So we have two linebackers over the center on the back of the silks, and they're right over the center threatening your beloved A gap.
Right.
We just need to get them on a rider and a rider on a horse and a horse in a winner's circle and 10% to the Mike Zimmer Foundation.
Yeah, that would be pretty fun if we can ever get a horse.
Maybe eventually we go bigger and better, like in September. Maybe we buy one and try to win the Kentucky Derby.
I'm in. Let's go to Keeneland. Let's go buy it at the Keeneland Sale. I talked to Parcells this morning. We were talking a little bit about football, a little bit about horses.
Yeah. Well, so now you reference the Keeneland Sale. In this month and change, we've been trying to do this with the talking and texting that we do about horse racing. I mean, you know so much more about the whole process, sadly the negative side of it, of not being able to attain a horse. But now you're referencing the Keeneland. Speaking of Bill Parcells, you think he'd want in? Maybe Bill Parcells gets in.
He said he doesn't like those conglomerates, with more than one person.
Of course he doesn't.
Yeah, he likes
to own his own.
He likes to run his own show, trust me.
Go to Keeneland Sale, drop $250,000, try to get into the Derby.
Yeah.
What about Kubiak? He loves horse racing.
Yeah, I think he'd be in on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sugarman, of course.
Your home track is the football field.
What about Amy's Challenge? Should we talk about that?
Amy's Challenge is a fantastic filly that was purchased at the Keeneland Sale by trainer Mac Robertson for Eden Prairie's Joseph Novogratz, and has made somewhere in the neighborhood of $500,000. And what you will like more, she was purchased for $20,000.
Nice.
So if you can get 20 and turn it into like $500,000, that is the September plan.
Right.
When we move forward. And of course, all proceeds go to the Mike Zimmer Foundation, including the Kentucky Derby purse.
and if they don't run good, we can send them down to the stable down at the ranch.
That's the beautiful part, is that if things don't work well, we already have a ranch, Zimmer Ridge Ranch in northern Kentucky. Given we are overlooking 3 perfectly manicured practice fields at TCO Performance Center, this is your home track. Your thoroughbreds will be running around in a little bit for Vikings Organized Team Activities number 5. How do they look so far?
We had a really good practice yesterday. I've been extremely impressed with the things that we're doing offensively. Um, the way that the coaches are implementing the system, the way that the players are adapting to it and adjusting. Cousins has looked good throwing the ball. Play action pass has been unbelievable. Um, I just honestly I couldn't be more happy with the directions the offense is going right now.
Is the in any way at this stage of the equation is the defense ahead of the offense? And the reason I bring that up is because I mean, all the high enders, Kendricks and Barr and Smith and Griffin and Hunter and Linval, so on, they've been in it so long, and now with Stefanski and Kubiak and Bradbury and Merv Smith and stuff, I mean, it's so new on the offense.
Yeah, but the thing is that they're doing some really good things to make it difficult for the defense. Like I said, some of the play action, the running game, some of the running game things that have been complicated for the defense. And when you start hearing players talk about number one other players and about their ability level, and then you sit to them and talk to them about scheme, and they say, man, that is really hard what they're doing here, and we really have to do this and be on our toes because in the running game, if we can get one player out of his gap, we have a chance to hit some big runs.
Everson Griffin, well documented, had a troubled 2018. How is he on the bounce back this time of the year into 2019?
Yeah, he looks like the old Everson. He's powerful, strong, explosive off the line of scrimmage.
Is he loud? Because
at
happy Everson
time,
and good Everson is loud Everson.
At times, he asked me. He tried to tackle me yesterday and asked me why I'm so grumpy. So
you can't be grumpy this time of the year. It's May.
Well,
other than the horse claiming thing.
Well, that makes me grumpy, but that actually makes me happy because I can give you a hard time. But
right.
If they're not doing things right, then I get grumpy.
Yeah. It seems from afar not many open spots on defense, right? I mean, maybe some backup type situations. Certainly not saying the level of competition should not or is not there. But, I mean, you're kind of set on defense, aren't you?
Yeah, but some of these young guys have come in here, and I kind of like them. Cam Smith, the linebacker from USC, he's done a really nice job of just working into the system. He takes every rep. He's a good. We were doing punt yesterday, and I walked up to him, and I kind of give him the finger to come here, and he says. So he runs over to me, and I said, "You paying attention on the special team stuff?"
Yeah.
He said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right.
He's all wide-eyed, and the other kid that's kind of shown up a little bit is this Epps kid from Wyoming.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's been doing a nice job, and we'll have to see when the pads get on, obviously. But as far as playing some nickel and playing some safety, he's been. Boyd, the corner from Texas. He's a kid that has a lot of abilities, who's learning.
Yeah.
So it's been good. I took trust me, I was mad yesterday because this 7-on-7 the day before was not very good.
Okay.
Right. So I took the DBs and linebackers through the 7-on-7 tape yesterday.
Yeah.
I was trying to give him a master's class.
Yeah.
So it was
now's the time, right?
That was actually fun for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this is probably the stupidest question you're going to get all day, but like rookie camp took place.
Well, I don't have any more media, so it probably will be. But if I had more media, I'm sure it wouldn't be.
Now we're at organized team activities. Is rookie camp antiquated? I mean, what's the major purpose of rookie camp? Because, like, all the rookies are together, then they get with the veterans, and it seems like so much changes, I mean, there's still a place for rookie camp?
Yeah, there definitely, in my opinion, there is. I think you have to be, like what we did this year, we changed a little bit. But, we have guys that we signed from this tryout rookie camp.
Yeah.
And so that's really important for that. The Thielens of the world, and I don't know. There's Marcus Sherrills was a guy.
Beebe.
Chad Beebe. There's a bunch of those guys that we end up signing that are players out of it. But what we did is like the last couple days of the rookie minicamp, the drafted guys who've been on the banquet circuit. We kind of kept them out. I said, okay, give them 2 plays a period and then get them out of there and let's look at the other guys. So, but we just kind of give them an indication of how we're going to practice and what we're going to do, but we try not to kill those guys. And then the other guys that are trying out, they have an opportunity to make the club.
You're Mike Zimmer, head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Kicks off 9 to noon from TCO Performance Center. Your cornerback situation, especially at this time of the year, is quite perplexing to me because we have Rhodes and we have Waynes and we have Mackenzie Alexander. So Like when Mike Hughes is up and running and fully ready to go. Like where does Mike Hughes fit into this whole thing?
Well, you go back and look at the tapes from last year, and Mike Hughes played exceptionally well for a rookie cornerback. I'm excited to get him back. We'll find a place for him to get in there and play.
Yeah.
Even if we have to use, one of these guys back at safety some or something like that. I mean, we'll
Mm-hmm.
figure out ways to use these guys.
Tell us about Hercules Mataafa.
Matafaha,
Mataafa.
is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I say
You're calling me Mataafa way too frequently these days.
Matafaha.
Yeah.
He's kind of been the surprise of the camp, to be honest with you.
Really?
Players are talking about him. He's a guy that he's up to 275 now. He can get out of the chutes without raising up at all. He's been very difficult to block. He's very active. He led led college football in tackles for loss. He was
Jeez.
Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a kid when I was in Cincinnati named Geno Atkins, who
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. He came in there and we were like in OTAs, and one of the quarterbacks came up to me and says, "Do you think he can do this in like real, when we get pads on and stuff?" And I said,
Yeah.
"I don't know, we'll see." And he did, and that's kind of, I'm not saying he's Geno, but he's so active in these OTAs. Now the question is, can he continue to do it when we get the pads on?
Yeah, and that obviously, specifically for interior people in the trenches, defensive line and offensive line. I mean, honestly, and with the way things are constructed in the NFL these days, with the lack of contact this time of the year, I mean, if somebody like, say, Drew Samia wanted to jump up and win a job, I mean, he has such a short amount of time to display that physicality that it's kind of tough.
You have a pretty good idea if a guy's going to be physical or not when you're in this. And I mean, we don't have pads on, and we're staying up, and we're not trying to kill the guy, but we're going pretty darn hard. I mean, if you brought in any other coach from around the league, they say these guys practice hard now.
With Hercules Mataafa as a coach, this is perplexing to me. What do you like doing more, saying Hercules Mataafa or playing Hercules Mataafa? It's very perplexing, isn't it?
That's a good question.
It's probably saying at this stage until you get to training camp. What would you name the unraced horse that we're going to get at Keeneland that's going to win the Kentucky Derby?
Bump and Run.
Bump and Run?
Yeah.
Well, that's a sweet name.
Yeah.
What about Beat Green Bay?
I'm going to leave that one alone right now.
What about Mugging the A-Gap?
It's kind of hard to say, hey, Mugging the A-Gap.
Yeah, it's hard for a racetrack announcer.
Yeah.
What about Dreaded Raccoon? From Zimmer Ridge Ranch days.
You're going to get me in trouble.
Have a great time today, and best of luck with the second annual Team to Give Back volunteer event. The entire organization is taking part in this. You, the players, and everybody take off at 12:30 for Southside Village Boys and Girls Club. Obviously stuff like this is very important to the team, very important to you, very important to the players. Days like this are very significant.
Yeah, it's really good. We're going to one of the most diverse boys and girls clubs in the state, and to get an opportunity to go down there, we've been blessed with the things that we've been able to do and the things we can. And so if any of these young kids can look up to some of our players and understand how we're trying to help them and give back, and I just think it's a great thing. It's great that our ownership does this. It's great, like we've got every employee of the organization that's not going to do football right now over there.
Yeah.
And they're working on stuff, and the meals that we're going to provide for them is going to be outstanding. And it's part of our it's really part of our job to help the people in the Twin Cities as much as we can. We've been, and our players are great about it. They love doing it. You go in there, you see Xavier Rhodes, playing with these little kids, and Harrison Smith throwing them footballs, and all these different things that we do. It's a pretty fun event, and hopefully we'll be concentrating on football while we're out there, and then when we leave those white lines, we can go have some fun with the kids.
To whom much is given, much is expected. Thank you.
Appreciate it.